Hi, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Kristian.
I'm Daryl.
I'm Xintian.
This report that we will be talking about will provide a detailed understanding of what women need and want when they initiate a business interaction with the car dealership. Throughout this report, a number of areas will be explored in an effort to determine the factors and influences most important to dealership sales and how to best take advantage of them. This report will use...
The purpose of this report is to provide an in-depth insight into motivation towards a car dealership for women and what drives them to actually buying a car from a certain dealership. With a focus on respondents being women with different ages, statistical analysis was conducted to understand the relationships between different variables and groups within the sample and survey provided.
So specifically, this report will provide strategies to form the most effective and well-planned dealership that will provide the best potential to sell a car to women of all categories.
Our first report aim is to discover whether the importance of safety differs between age groups. The information on the relationship between age and safety allows the dealership to understand which of their customers they should orientate the marketing of their products that excel in this area to. So for this test, the null hypothesis was that the average rating on the importance of safety does not differ by age groups, and the alternate is that the average rating of importance of safety differs by age groups. We used a one-way ANOVA test, which revealed a p-value of 0.036, which would suggest that it was significant, but then we were not able to perform any post hoc tests because some cases had only one response. And further analysis showed that of the 278 sampled candidates, 244 were between the age of 20 and 30. So a one-way ANOVA was run again, combining the last two cases, which showed a p-value of 0.323, thus concluding that between the now four groups, there is insufficient evidence to reject the null, and that women, regardless of age, valued safety equally.
That was good.
In manufacturing, advertisements directed towards all women or cross-sell the highest safety rated cars were dealing with women in the showroom. Yep.
Good stuff. Our second project aim was to understand the relationship between current car ownership and age in the women who responded. In determining at what age car ownership is most likely, the dealership can cater to customers who are most likely buying their first car in a different manner to those possibly buying their last. The hypothesis is that there is an association between current car ownership and age, while the alternate hypothesis is that there is an association between current car ownership and age. To find the data for this test, we had to run a chi-squared test on association between current car ownership and age, which revealed a number of valuable data sets. Firstly, the test determines through the responses of 278 women that with a p-value of 0.030 that there is a statistically significant association between the two groups and that the data is inherently valuable. It highlights some trends in car ownership amongst the surveyed respondents, with increases in ownership from the less than 20 age bracket of 3 women to 108 women by the 20 to 30 age bracket, and then a gradual decrease to 17 women, 3 women, and 1 woman in the 30 to 45, 45 to 60, and 60 plus year age brackets respectively. The most significant managerial implications from the test can be drawn from two things. Firstly, the significant change of car ownership percentages between the 20 and 30 bracket and the 30 and 45 bracket, a 44% reply rate of yes, which increased dramatically to 71% between the brackets. This means that the 20 to 30 age bracket for a large section of women is a period in which they will be buying their first cars, and as such, managers must look to products that suit the needs and wants of first-time car buyers and prices that a newcomer to the market would find appealing. Secondly, the data affords us the opportunity to see what percentage of customers lie in which age bracket, allowing a manager to mould marketing strategies and techniques to the groups that have a more dominant presence in their dealership. In this instance, the two most important brackets are the 20 to 30 and 30 to 45 age brackets, making up 96% of overall respondents, a relatively small bracket by age with a large number influenced by sample size. If a manager looks at promoting first cars to these audiences in a way that resonates with those age groups, it is likely to inspire an increase in sales.
So for the third aim, we'll be talking about the relationship between age and income in respondents, because you need the information on the relationship between age and income and income to be provided insight into the differing manner, luxury, and budget options should be presented and sold to members of various age demographics. What we're trying to prove is that whether or not age influences income, whereas the now would be whether or not age does not influence income. So after conducting the chi-square on this test, we could see that age does in fact influence in the income bracket depending on the respondent's specific age group. So it shows that the p-value was significant, and therefore we failed to accept the null, as there is an association between age and income. Association for age and income, we could look at the bar chart given in the appendix down there, which you would see later in the report. Given as well, we would know that most income earners came from the age group between 20 and 30. Therefore, we could possibly be more focused on the age group instead of looking at such a wide range of age groups. This is to gain a more in-depth review on women wanting to buy cars at a dealership. So by focusing on that specific age group and income group, the manager would be able to derive a plan to actually target the specific age group to try to increase their.
The report aim for number 4 was to understand the role income plays in the varying importance of car attributes to women. By assessing this, the dealership can determine the car attributes those who have the largest potential spending value most. Our null hypothesis was that the importance of all car attributes is equal as income level changes, whilst the alternate hypothesis was the importance of all car attributes is not equal as income level changes. We have to perform a one-way ANOVA for this test, and it was designed to see whether women in different income brackets view car attributes at different levels of favourability. However, the output table for the ANOVA test said that the p-values were insignificant, and notably the significance between groups in comfort was 0.949, meaning the groups almost answered identically. Whilst for speed the significance was 0.180, again confirming insignificance in the test results but at a level closer to acceptance. Ultimately, these results are valuable in confirming that women of all income levels see attributes similarly.
For the fifth TM, we focus on investigate what car attributes as most and less important when considering car purchase for female customer. For this finding, the repeat measure ANOVA results are of statistics significant, indicating that there is in fact a difference in women attribute perception of importance between the attributes comfort, safety, styling, power, small size, and mileage. Through this comparison of the main perception in regard to all attributes, safety is the most important attribute to women, while by comparison, the small size is the less important feature. So for M5, this finding highlighting that in women attitude, safety is the most important feature of cars. Currently, safety becomes more and more significant in many aspects, especially in the decision for women to buy a car. Hence, for internal factor, car manufacturer should focus more on safety factor when car design and production. On the other hand, for external factor, the dealership staff could focus more on safety when recommend cars to female customers. Besides, comfort and styling are also relatively high importance to female customers. Managers should have a great concern on these two features, then face female customers to make extra sales. Power, mileage, and speed have relatively low importance, but managers could not ignore these factors. Furthermore, small size is less important to female. It may have a store type. Imagine for a female customer that women like only small things. However, the result definitely rejected. Small size is relatively unnecessary to female. Managers should not.
Sixth aim, we're trying to determine the perceptions women hold towards the dealership environment and the staff who work there. So by interpreting how women feel when engaging with staff within the dealership environment, valuable conclusions can be drawn about the changes that can be made to encourage safety. So what we're trying to prove is that women agree that dealerships are an area for men, and the now would be the opposite, basically. So after conducting the one sample t-test as shown, these results were significant as the mean was greater than 4. So this also meant that there is an association for women agreeing that dealerships are. So the dealership could use this information to improve this by making the car dealership more gender friendly for both men and women to gain sales from not only the men but also from the women. The manager at the dealership could gain much more sales if women felt more comfortable at the place that they are intending to buy a car from. So one of the main objectives towards this is that the manager of the dealership should put in more attention to his or her dealership when it comes to the standards of the dealership, whether or not it is equally gender friendly for both sexes.
In this way, we feel the aims and outcomes we've talked about today can be used by management in an attempt to increase future sales.